Hello and welcome back. We are here, back again, trying to make Krakow work. Last episode, we ended up, Prussia declared war on Austria. Austria lost, Prussia managed to 1v1 them, and we got a little bit of an interesting situation where we managed to get independence from Austria, but we had knocked off market access, and it was just not happening. What we really want is we want to reduce our autonomy with Austria, not gain independence from them, and in the reduction of autonomy war, we want to go for West Galicia. So we reloaded back to kind of an earlier point before Prussia declared war on Austria, and we're going to try and see if we can get here from there. It seems to be the case that improving relations all the way up to plus 50 will sometimes reset attitude, and this combination of attitude being good towards you and bad towards Austria seems to be what you are looking for in this type of run. And we see here, I think that this is going to be kind of the golden opportunity situation, is that Austria has rolled negative relations with Russia. Most of the runs we have seen, Austria claps Prussia overall because somebody joins in the war between Prussia and Austria, but we did not see that last episode. And so I don't know how rare this condition is where Russia will be antagonistic towards Austria. I don't know if we got super lucky when we were coming on up, but it is with this condition I think that we can try to get a reduction of autonomy on Austria, and then once we reduce to dominion, I think that we actually want to buddy up with Austria and look to fight our way to the coast through Prussia. And so we'll be using Prussia initially and then be swapping sides. Now, currently, they do support our independence. And so we could declare on Austria for independence if we had that available, which we can make available pretty quickly by first asking for market access. We've been pretty consistent with these interactions, and now we're going to need just a little bit more in order to get negative relations. We can see it is ticking up at a pretty good clip, and so what we'll do is just as soon as we can ask for independence, we will ask, and then we'll see about declaring that war. And so we'll see if we can race Prussia, because Prussia is going to dow them like as soon as they research nationalism, which is what they always do. And often they put in enough war goals to make everyone to rank up their infamy, and then everyone's antagonistic, and then they get wrecked. We've seen that a lot on this patch, and so hopefully we can get to this situation where we have enough liberty desire before that happens. Also, we're going to try and do a better job juggling here, because we went over infrastructure last episode towards the end by too much, and that really wrecks your economy. And so you want to make use of the construction still, but what you have to do is, just as soon as something's about to finish, you just kick it to the bottom. Alright, we can now ask for the increased autonomy subject for interaction. We're just going to ask for it. They're going to, of course, say no, but this will crank us up to having enough liberties, or the fact that they reject it, gives us the opportunity to declare a diplomatic demand for increased autonomy. Since this forces Prussia to join in with us, I think we're just going to go for this. Hopefully we can also demand states in this war, and since we saw Prussia 1v1 Austria, we're a little bit hopeful that this will be available. And so we see that, hey, Russia's in here, and also we see very nicely we can conquer the Galicias. I think we're going to put in West Galicia immediately here. Or actually, should we wait? We're going to wait just until to see if anyone's swayable. We're going to see that maybe a lot of people join. This is maybe a bit unfortunate. Also, Prussia doesn't have access to quite as much as they did before. But why don't we put in Conquer West Galicia here? They don't have access to what they had before, in that we're also going to go for war reparations, definitely. They do not have access to all their subjects, so hopefully they could do well. Also, this is a bit of an opportune time because France, if I recall correctly, yeah, they have really bad relations with Prussia, but they're currently experiencing a revolution, so they won't be able to fight Prussia or join in here, or that would just be like crazy for them. So this is also good timing. Also, in order to be eligible for a mass migration, and this is a very important thing, you have to own the entire state. That's why West Galicia is our number one go-to. I think we might release East Galicia. I think that this might make sense because we don't want to go too high on the infamy. The flip side of this is that we can afford to let the infamy tick down for a really long time. I'm not sure if we'll find some good wars, so maybe we just put it in at the very end after maybe some people have declared neutrality or something to this effect. We are just setting in on defense with a gentleman we recruited who has defensive strategists. Whoever wins these first few battles tends to be a little bit snowbally, at least on this patch. We do see Austria winning one and Prussia winning one. Both people winning, interestingly, the offensive battles. I think we will set as a strategic objective Austria here, but we're not going to push. We're going to hope to try and wear them down with defense. We wish that Prussia behaved in this way, but if they're not going to, then we hope that Prussia at least wins more of these battles. They have skirmish infantry, which is Prussia's very strong advantage over them. In order to make peace, we can conquer either this way or we can conquer towards the capital, it does seem to be moving in our direction in terms of the advantage. So I think that Prussia is churning through enough Austrian troops on these battles and getting enough casualties, and that this will be a pretty good driver, because let's take a look. Austria's gotten about 50% more wounded, and they had pretty similar sized armies at the beginning, so I think that this is looking extraordinarily good for us here. Already Austria is in really bad shape, and it looks like they're pushing this way, so maybe we just actually want a different strategic objective of this. We're again not pushing right now, but they can borrow our troops for defending, and so while we're not contributing that much other than the conscripts and one single battalion, the one battalion's mainly so we can just assign to a front after this kind of shakes through. We're also going to make sure that we keep kicking stuff to the bottom, but I think that, this is looking pretty good for us. We have one of the war goals, which means it gives us two of the war goals. All we need is conquer East Galicia, and if Prussia decides to push that, or if we start getting battles there, that'll be really good for us, and I think that'll be kind of like winding things up. It looks like they're pushing Bohemia now. Not exactly ideal, because they are at 0, but it's looking like we're going to get an autonomy reduction here. Very clean, as well as 2 states off of Austria, at which point we can just start improving relations with them. We do have to worry about this, and we got to worry about keeping this queue, and so I won't put you through the micro of the queue. Super nice. We are free Krakow. In retrospect, maybe there's an argument for us trying to push to the coast this way. We only need actually one single state of Besbaria to be able to push to the coast, but I think now we're going to maybe about face what we're doing and try and improve our relations with them. Oh, did they expel our diplomats? No, we just have too many relations kind of already going. I think that us improving relations with them is a little bit less critical, but we just have the malice. We can't improve. We should have kept in on that. But now we have a full state. We have a full state here, which means we can get migrants coming in. They're not going to right now because there's a ton of turmoil, but we will be able to deal with that, hopefully in the near future. But also, I think we can open the floodgates a little bit here because we now have infrastructure. So everything that's been about to complete, I think we're just going to put it up towards the top and let all the stuff that's been about to complete for some time now complete, and us getting onto the railroads is much less super important. I think we'll just incorporate this straight away. It'll be a 24-month incorporation. Also a fairly solid state. We do have coal here in quite a large amount, as well as wheat and the other stuff. It's owned by, Austria, but that's fine enough. This will give us so much more room to operate here, and so very, very, very nice. From here, I think we're going to look to push north, though. Alright, well, now we get the atmospheric engine pumping that to correctly fire for... Okay. Fair enough. We're going to get the progress on railways. This was what we were trying to do all along, and it's going to be pretty nice, except we actually don't super need the infrastructure now anyways, although this turmoil is a bit of a problem. I think the turmoil is largely from, people are a little bit mad about getting conquested, even though it was just a reconquest, and so that's going to negatively affect us for some time. We're gonna, I guess we're gonna go fast. So we pop a revolution, and of course, Big Mommy comes out to help us, which we were hoping would reset the attitude, but it didn't. We're going to start improving relations with them. We're hoping to get to pretty good relations at some point so that they will actually join us in wars. But now this should reset some amount of our radicalism by having this revolution, so this will be nice. We are also looking to pass racial segregation so that we can invite agitators, and looking to find an agitator that's going to agitate for a law that we like, which will spark a rev, we hope, and that rev we can just abdicate towards. And so this is kind of the main idea behind racial segregation kind of being a little bit of a priority here. But we annex the revolt. All is saved. Thank you, Austria. As you can see, we have the devastation still, but no more turmoil. We do have a bunch of turmoil in East Galicia, but now we will not have this massive construction malice, at least from the turmoil here in West Galicia, where we are looking to build tall. We've kind of reset our decrees here a little bit. I think we're going to go with promote some social mobility on both the states, and do a greener grass as well. Considering we're using 5 edicts, we maybe also want to consider building some of these power block statues, which are going to give us, or at least one of these, minus 25% decree cost. Now, if this should just be local, but if it's not just local, then we could get minus 100% decree cost. We were noticing on previous builds that this wasn't local, and we thought it should be. Or no, was it? No, they just all stacked before, so I'm not sure if this stacks. I assume it shouldn't, and it's just supposed to be providing locally, but we're going to build one there and see how that kind of kicks out, and then maybe we'll get some more decrees. Also, once the turmoil goes down here, we don't have that much migration attraction, but once it goes down here, we're hoping to siphon off migrants here. Ooh, where are you going to, my guys? Where are you going to? I guess you're going to all over Austria. Maybe if we let it go another week, it'll start being incoming. Perfect. And so we're hoping to receive a bunch of migrants from Austria and really just, you know, suckle at mother's teats, really, to try and keep our population up, get it going up high. We have 5 million pops now. That's so much more than what we started with. And so there is a lot of room for us to just grow and kind of do normal things while within, you know, Austria's market here. Very nicely, because we're a dominion, we can now declare rivalries. We rivaled a whole bunch of people that aren't relevant at all, and in doing so, we can now improve relations with just about everyone. Now, of course, we have to be below cordial to be able to declare war on people, and so it creates a little bit of an awkward situation for us, because we simultaneously, I think what we want to maintain the flexibility for is our ability to reduce autonomy on Austria one more time, while simultaneously getting to the point where we can maybe get Austria to be friendly with us. And so we'll improve relations with both these guys. I think we'll improve relations with Russia more, and then Prussia maybe to the point where around 30, that way we could damage back down if we need to dow Russia, or we could just cannibalize Austria if we can get another reduced autonomy war, and then actually take some big stuff, like maybe we take West Slovakia, Transdanubia, and we could even try and like gobble our way out to the coast to Croatia, and this would cut their market in half, so they'd probably have some rev problems too. In which case, this like weird cannibalistic thing, maybe this is easier to do because Austria has this negative diplomacy with these guys, right? And so if we improve, actually I'm kind of liking this the more I think about it, we could just go for, you know, West Slovakia here. Oh, maybe even Styria. West Slovakia, Transdanubia, Styria. Oh no, that doesn't cut them off. But if we can cut their market in half, that'll really wreck them, and maybe give us an opportunity to actually just try and eat up Austria from the inside out. Well, Austria did the annoying thing where they give us their government types, so now we have autocracy, and also freedom of conscience instead of total separation, which is not very nice, but I believe that'll make people really mad, huh? So first of all, we're highly illegitimate now, because I guess it broke all of our parties, which actually is a huge problem, but yeah, we actually can't reform to be more legitimate. But also, Intelligentsia is super mad. Also, the guy in charge got changed, and so we're hoping that these guys agitate for something like getting off of autocracy, maybe. Kind of annoying. I'm shocked that this interaction is like so disruptive and it doesn't give you liberty desire. But okay, our liberty desire is still high enough to ask for increased autonomy if we wanted. We just have to wait on a truce. The truce is up in August for Prussia and Austria, and we're just trying to see here if we can reset the attitude here with Russia. Rather, Russia's a little bit close to being able to support us, and we're about to hit 50, so if 50 resets the attitude towards cautious, we won't improve relations with Prussia, it does not, so we'll start improving relations with Prussia, looking to get them up to plus 50, and also maybe us reduce the autonomy here. The fact that we cannot reform the government is actually really obnoxious, though, huh? I mean, we don't even have an election brewing, so that's a vibe, huh? Okay, taking a closer look, we could in theory form legitimate governments, but we can't change anything because we got regime changed, and so we're enforced into this, which is not very nice. I guess we could reduce this. Can we abdicate the throne? Or will this not be allowed if we have just had... Okay, so we could abdicate maybe if someone gets insurrectionary, and in this way, maybe change our government back to something that's reasonable. Now that we can pass a law, we could pass a law that is going to really make the Intelligentsia angry. We could go for something like national supremacy, and then look to abdicate to their revolution. I think that this works. I'm not 100% sure, though. Okay, so kind of just taking a bit of an account of things, and it seems like they didn't really go after any of our economy laws. I'm not sure if they can enforce these through regime change. I think that they can. I don't know why they only enforce the ones in particular. It does have to... Regime change is something I used to know a lot better. It was kind of meta tactic for 3v3v3, but the fact that we're locked in on this is like pretty rough. We're gonna see if we can get around that by trying to pass national supremacy, which will force ourselves... that'll almost certainly cause a revolution of some kind. Yeah, there's the revolution, and they are radical, and whoa, we weren't even looking at this. This is a vibe. We get the Empire of China looking big, small, small, big. We get the Heavenly King. We weren't even paying attention to this. Well, that's a vibe. But as we were saying, now that we have a revolution, we should be able to abdicate the throne. And then we will get the hands thrown up event, which I think will give us, allow us to change... Oh, this won't allow any law changes. This isn't how this works anymore. It just cancels it because of the regime change. Alright, we're gonna load before doing this, before we did this, but this is very interesting. So it seems if you get regime changed, you can't cheese your way out of being on the laws by just doing the abdication event, because this revolutionary movement would have wanted to enforce something like parliamentary republic. So, yeah. Well, these idiots are agitating for elected bureaucrats, which I can't even pass. So we're just going to necessarily rev, and Austria's going to help us out here, I guess. Alright, so we asked them to reduce our autonomy here. Once they answer, we should be able to declare war on them yet again. I think that what we're going to do is we have support from the Ottomans. I think it's very likely we get support from either Prussia or Russia with this declaration. We're going to have an available demand in just a second. I still think we go for increased autonomy, looking to carve up from inside them what's that, brother? What's that? And we do see we're fortunate enough to have a potential sway, and the Ottomans were already going to join us anyways, and so I think we'll just sway in here. Prussia's also pretty likely to... I mean, they just, like, auto-declare, like, constantly, so they're very likely to just put in on... Austria here kind of at the same time we are, which is like right when the truce kind of came up, and so we're gonna sway with an obligation. I mean, we need their help, so there's not much we can do. We're not gonna have enough maneuvers, unfortunately, for going for like carving our way out of Austria in this way, but what we can go for is we can go for at least West Slovakia. Let's let it escalate a little bit higher though, because if they put war demands in on Russia, then Russia won't be able to leave the play, even if we acquire a ton of infamy, which is something we'd be interested in. We see kind of on demand. They are going for Bohemia, Moravia, and this kind of weird looking stuff from there. Or Prussia is going for this rather, which is going to be good for us because their attentions will be divided. Looks like they're not putting in on Russia. We really would like them to put on Russia because we were planning on taking 2 states worth of infamy. But maybe this is just too much infamy. Maybe we could just go for just West Slovakia and then war reparations, which is going to help us out a lot as well. We do have an interest declared over here. We could also go for Austria and Moldova. Moldova, which will allow us to declare on Moldova, which will give us a little bit of flexibility. It'll take us 22 maneuvers, though, so that'll mean no war reps if we do that. That's a little bit tough in terms of what we're supposed to do. I'm not really sure. We could also revoke claim. Yeah, I really wish... Or wait. No, that's the infamy. The maneuvers is still 22, but it's like half the infamy. But it's just for a partial state. But it's going to give us access to Moldova, which would allow us to, in a war with Ottomans, get coastal access sometime down the road, which is maybe worth it. I think we're just going to go for war reparations and look to eco up behind this. We're just going to go for Austrian war reparations. And then I think that'll be it. We would rather the Papal States be just easier to enforce out of this, because we don't have much agency in this regard. So we end up getting a really nice situation here, which is that, Prussia and Austria will have to fight, and then we're just not going to help at all with that. We hope our troops don't do anything funny. We're just going to look to defend, let Russia push, get West Slovakia, and with 30 infamy and some decaying going on, we should be in okay shape. Ugh, our eco's not. Our eco's really not. So maybe the problem earlier, and we don't want to prop this rev right now, and maybe the problem earlier, because that's just too much craziness here, because then we would be fighting on the same side as Austria in 2 wars and against them in 1 war, and my brain can't handle this, except it'd be kind of funny. I mean, maybe we should let this pop. But I think that maybe last time, we're going to at least see what's up with this abdicate, because I think maybe last time it was because it was a preserved movement, and these guys specifically want to enact elected bureaucrats. We'd be happy with elected bureaucrats. Okay, so here we see a little bit of a different thing. This guy steps down, and we get elected bureaucrats and presidential republic. So I guess it has to specifically be a proactive law pass, not a reactive preserve law pass. But we'll just abdicate to this in that case. We'll get rid of a whole bunch of radicals. We'll get elected bureaucrats, presidential republic. These will go away. We'll be in really good shape. We get the wee-woos outside. We're getting the bag here in the war. Not quite 2 provinces, but a whole lot of wee-woos. I think that, can we reform the government at all? These guys are still insurrectionary. Why you have to be mad? It's only game. But with these guys getting out of it being insurrectionary, hopefully we can get on a reasonable looking voting system in good order. I think we're going to go for wealth voting because a lot of other people have it and are more likely to support us if we're going for that specifically. That's right. We were recently forced to do a regime change, so we can't change any of our things. Big nice. It was fantastic. I guess we'll just go landed voting. Man, poor Austria is just getting absolutely bodied. I think they lose this. I think they even lose this Italian war for San Marco. They lose to us for the West Slovakia and reduced autonomy. They lose. I mean, we're losing to Prussia too here. We're just getting pushed around. But the also it's like, yeah, I've never seen Austria occupied so fast, I don't think. And so we're obviously going to end up enforcing on them. They're going to, Prussia's going to enforce on us and them as well. These guys are, do they offer a peace? Here, we're going to go for this. Surely they say yes, which renews our front, so now we have a front with Prussia, but we're not interested in winning this war, and we're not going to win this war. And so they're going to get German leadership and a couple of states. So Prussia's going to be really strong this game, which is a little bit unfortunate. We kind of wish that maybe Austria had won that war, so maybe we shouldn't have decked them. But at the same time, we really do want to reduce... Oh wow, what war goal do they have that they no longer have? They control Austria, what gives? Why aren't you enforcing them down? Okay, they are. But Prussia's going to be a little bit rough. I'm not sure how we're going to handle this exactly. Alright, now that we're not at war with any of these guys, we're going to improve relations with all these guys. And just look to keep playing them against each other. Now we have a little bit more flexibility in terms of we could, in a singular other war against Austria, get coastal access. And once you have access to the coast, you can kind of just eco up as normal, but Prussia is going to get real big in terms of forming Germany. So this might actually make our Polish dreams a little bit harder in some ways. I just realized that maybe we should have gone for independence. One of the reasons we wanted to stay not going independent is because we really want to make use of being able to siphon off migrants from Austria, but we probably could join Prussia's market or join their power block, and if we're in their power block, we can siphon off, because their power block is a market type power block, or it's a trade league, and so this would be good, although we would necessarily give investment opportunities. Austria is not doing too well in terms of gaining mandate progress. A big part of that is their cohesion is because it has been, because we had significant negative relations, but now we have relatively positive relations. Things are ticking down quite a bit, even with this, but what we are going to do is we're going to be a little bit aggressive about using cooldowns to request stuff we know that they will say no to, so that we can maintain high liberty desire. Even though we're just a protectorate, this will just give us the most flexibility, I think, moving forward, and maybe at a certain point we can get to being strong enough where they'll say yes. It would be interesting if we could get a bankroll. They have a 200 or 120 stack army. We currently just basically don't have an army. Okay, let's just transfer all this stuff to one. And so I think what we're going to go for now, though, is Ottoman's just lost a rev, and we are neutral with this rev. And so I think what the next war might be for us is actually just go conquer Moldova and conquer Ottoman Dobruja. And if we do this, we will have access to the sea. Now, we will need to have Austria and Moldova or be inside Austria's market in order to do this, but once we have access to the sea, really opens up a lot of opportunities for us to expand and then kind of come back and fight Russia or Prussia when the opportunity is pretty good. Alright, so we have ourselves a deck on the Ottoman Empire. We can sway in the Austrians, but unfortunately we're going to have to give up West Slovakia, but that's okay because the borders will look a little bit nicer without it. West Slovakia is a really nice state. It's a shame, but other than that, we would just be sitting here and not having any sort of infamy decay, and so us just getting to the coast is just so much more valuable that we'll go for this. And they will gain control of the wars, so they can put in war goals themselves. We hope they don't put in too many, because then Ottoman Empire will back down if they have too many. But right now we just have these two primaries. If they put in a lot, they will back down to Dobruja, which would be really bad, but we want to be able to have as much infamy going into kind of our ability to actually look at the rest of the world as possible. So we will put in here, and I'm thinking that we will have, so they haven't backed down yet. They're just worried, so this is looking pretty good for us, and yeah, this is looking good. Okay, so we had re-rolled the war because Austria just enforced a white peace on the Ottomans because they're in control of the war goal, and it's a little bit frustrating. To that end, what we did is we made sure that we are definitely going to win this war very quickly by having one cavalry unit, one infantry unit. We have an advancing guy on rapid advance. Oh, we'd meant to put him on rapid advance. Okay, wait, where did our cavalry go? Our cavalry just disappeared? Oh, our cavalry was in here. But I guess it auto-shifted him off of rapid advance. But we were just all ready to just, you know, do our thing with coming up with a whole bunch of conscripts. That way we would be able to enforce it fast enough. Even though we were winning the war, Austria just decided white peace was good, and then we just get super lucky. We get super lucky and we bink it. This is something we've tried in the past, where we just like release subject and release Slovakia in response to, or West Slovakia in response to owing it to someone to sway in. But if you release them as a subject, what will end up happening is you'll still sway over. To be fair, we could have released him as independent, but we get just super lucky getting this uprising, because now, oh, they just incorporate the uprising. Okay, I was going to say now we get West Slovakia for free, but all is well in the world. Austria gets what they were promised, and we're going to get what we were promised instead of a white peace, because that would be really not nice, the opposite of nice, the opposite of big nice. And so we're just going to be able to advance pretty quick here. I'm not sure why Austria was so keen on surrendering before, or just having a little bit of a thing. Also, this is really nice for us too, no longer needing an obligation with Russia. I mean, we would prefer they just absolve it for super increased relations, but this works too. But we are going to be able to push this pretty quick here, just running through them, because obviously this is an enormous army. It looks like one of our generals died, yikes. And then this, I don't know where these guys are from. Fair enough. but we are going to be able to push and then get this coast here. Our guy will need to come to a front. He'll teleport around, do some zippies, and now we're on this shared front, and we should be able to push in here. We also, this time around, entered in our war goals a little bit differently, getting Moldavian war reparations, putting them as primary, so there's like no way Ottomans back down, which is a little bit tighter than what we had before, where Austria could put in this Montenegro treaty port war goal. So now all we need to take is Dobruja, so this should be over pretty quick. Alright, so we managed to win the war this time. We finally have sea access, although this is the jankiest sea access we've ever seen, going through 2 other countries, which are a different color. But it has full market sea access, and so we are building our first boat, and we can declare interest anywhere. So we can actually expand in an efficient way, which is what we're going to be looking to do next episode. This episode, we fought Austria a whole bunch. We managed to reduce autonomy on ourselves twice. This new subject interaction is very nice, because we are still getting to make use of siphoning off a whole bunch of pops from them. Look at our overall pop growth, so good. And so this is going to be really, really nice for us to be able to grow and build a power base. And we're only like 20 years into the game here, so we have a lot of room to work with in building a power base. We're not necessarily looking to fight Prussia and Russia straight away. These war goals take so much infamy, and I think what we're going to look to do in moving forward is we're going to look to use the Christ of Nations, as well as the various other expanding the Commonwealth types of events, to release guys from them for free and then incorporate them for free. I believe this is a thing for Poland, Lithuania. I'm not abundantly familiar with all the events for them, because generally the hard part is getting free and getting to this exact position where you have coastal access as Krakow with basically anything else. And so this is what the ideal start, or this is the ideal situation we now find ourselves in. Well, maybe not the most ideal, because the most ideal is going through this way, but I mean, it's jank ideal. And so we're in a really good spot here as Krakow. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing. And other than that, have a good one.